Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 12.
Hey, we got Mike, number 53. Mike, 53.
Hey, we're good, we're good.
Watch the boot.
Working out of the gun, Cousins. He'll hit his running back, Amir Abdullah. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. A gain there of 21 yards.
Good route, good pickup for 1st down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover, the angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
I'm trying to collect.
Hey, Steamer.
53 for Mike. 50.
Bravo.
Hey, defense.
Cousins. And he's got the hook up here. It's Kyle Rudolph. And he has another 1st down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 38-yard line.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a game in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opens things up for you on the outside as well.
But that's where their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the end routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
Come
on, baby. Let's see what you got. Watch safety creep. Watch safety creeping. Safety's creeping.
Yellow.
47's the Mike.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Cousins. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And he has another 1st down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 27-yard line.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in this paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this first drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone? Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Brings up 2nd and 8 at the 25-yard line.
Check. 53's Mike. Check.
Leave it. Ring up 48.
All right, D. Let's try. All right, D.
From the 25 on 2nd down. Cousins. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football, because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
Tight dog. Let's go.
On 3rd down, Cousins. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Give him 4 on the carry there at 2nd and goal.
Brings up 2nd and goal at the 1-yard line.
Mike, 53. Mike. Coming.
Hey, 382. Last 50.
Check 43.
They'll run for it with Cook. And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Punching it in from a yard away as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. It's a short kick, taking it to 15. And he will be taken down here as the first quarter of play will come to an end. These two teams all tied after one. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense get the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3-and-out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves now that they're back on the field.
Trying the right side with Howard. And 3 yards there takes him to the 45.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. There for the sack, Everson Griffin. The offense staying out there. They look prepared to go here on 4th and 10. Wentz. And Jeffrey's got it. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. That pickup goes for 25. What a flip of the script. From 4th down to 1st. From Viking territory now. They'll come up 1st and 10 at the 38. Now a nice play defensively on 1st down as this is knocked away and incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Running with Howard. And he gets it down to the 32. They get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wentz. He's going to let this go for the end zone. And that is caught. It's Aguilar for the Eagle touchdown. Carson Wentz with 2 first-half touchdown passes. And the Eagles have taken the lead. So on 3rd and medium, they dial up the pass, and it works to hit the end zone.
And it's really not a surprise to me. That's a throwing down in the NFL because of how tough it is to run the football. But what offenses like to do is still show run formations to make them respect it and throw out of those. In this case, they took a nice shot at the end zone and made it pay off.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone.
We got this.
At their own 25-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They trail a 1-score deficit, 14-7, as they come up 1st and 10. Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. The loss of 3 on that 1st down pass play. Now 2nd and 13.
Zebra. Hey, Alpha.
Cousins to throw it. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. On play action, Cousins. Going deep for Diggs. And that's caught inside the 30. Cousins finding Diggs on a big one, and even 50 yards. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Cousins gives way to Cook. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. Off the play fake, Cousins. It's complete to Diggs. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13.
Hey, Charlie.
From the gun, here's Cousins. That'll be complete to Cook. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down.
It's funny, throughout the time that we've been together, when we talk with running backs about the ability to catch the ball, their eyes light up when they talk about open field and having one-on-one matchups, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And that's the reason why. What we just saw, shedding those tackles, and that's what they're used to doing.
It is, and it starts at the beginning of the play, a one-on-one matchup if someone's trying to cover them, but they also like those one-on-ones downfield after the catch when they're running with the ball. They think they're going to win those, too.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. Rodney McLeod that time able to knock it away. So Cousins heads to the Vikings sideline, and on is Dan Bailey to try the field goal. Bailey's kick is good. But now there is a penalty marker on the field, so let's see what this is about. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Cook following the penalty, and he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Dalvin Cook with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half, as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. And oh, he missed it. No good. And they'll remain down by a point. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Let's go. Let's go.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And now with still more than a minute to go in what's been a tight game, you figure we'll try to see them move the ball downfield.
And remember, they get the kickoff to start the second half, so this is a golden opportunity for them to go down there and put up a couple of 6s back-to-back. What a momentum swing that would be.
Yeah, you might be able to get a 2-for-1 without ever even giving up the football. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Anthony Barr. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
Check back.
Following the interception, Cousins setting up the screen for Cook. The 20, and they move this all the way down to the 9. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop him with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. So it's first and goal and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break. They'll run with Cook. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on second and goal.
Shit.
Two. Check three.
They try again with Cook. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. The second down play results in a loss of 2 yards. To throw is Cousins. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete. Nigel Bradham, the linebacker, right there on the coverage. So they won't get a touchdown, but here's a chance to at least get 3 to end the first half. This from 25 yards out. And Bailey able to knock it through. And with that, they'll take a 2-point lead here in quarter number 2. So a little late drama in the first half as that kick will give them the lead into intermission.
Isn't this fun the way that this is unfolding? You're exactly right. The late drama, 3 points go up on the board, and we go into the half with a new leader.
So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gordon, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. A sack by Brandon Graham. He's been doing that since he entered the league in 2010.
Watch the distance.
47's the mic.
Watch the good routes here. Black. Sponge. Smooth.
They go play action. Cousins. And Diggs has it. The catch and run, good for 24 yards.
One of the selling points of the in route is it gives the quarterback a really nice sight line to his receiver and almost on a direct shot able to throw the ball into the middle of the field and have a great chance of success as they did on that play.
On the carry, it's Cook. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Here we go, D. All day, defense, all day.
Black.
March 47. I'm coming.
Hey, box drop. Where's the hot?
Cousins now. His throw incomplete. It was Jalen Mills getting a hand in there defensively.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9.
Hey, high 7.
He's heavy on the edges. 57's the mic.
Where's the hot?
Now Cousins. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
It's not a surprise when you read scouting reports and watch tape because you know he's a heck of a player. But he is so difficult to get down in the open field. They just want to get him the ball and let him do his thing.
And what can they do here on 2nd and goal? 3 red zone trips so far have yielded 2 touchdowns and a field goal. They'll get this halfway home from the 8 to the 4 on a gain of 4. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
They run it again with Cook. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. He keeps carrying the ball into the end zone, and in this one, he's sort of carrying the team on his back.
He's the reason that they lead right now. No question about it. And you talk about on his back, he's not minding the extra weight at all, is he? Carrying that just as lightly as he does the football.
Yeah,
what a great performance so far.
Those 3 touchdowns, it's got him in the lead. Throwing his Cousins. And he finds his way into the end zone as the lead moves to 10. So they try to make it a 2-score game with a conversion. It pays off.
And they've looked at the situation, figured it out well. A 2-score game in this situation, they've got to feel much better about where they are.
Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. It's a short kick, taken at the 15. And he breaks it all the way out to the 38-yard line. Great return.
At their own 38-yard line.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. They trail offense first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a...
Trying to get it to Jackson, and it's intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick, and they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. This offense, thankful, I'm sure, to have the football back, but also, Charles, after a long drive of their own, they've got to be a little weary.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and what you have to do to combat it, try and get fresh legs in where you can, especially the skill positions, and then for the offensive line, instead of attacking, maybe slow the tempo down a little bit, let them catch.
Hot! 180!
Bandit! Bandit!
Liz 50!
Throwing on 2nd down. Cousins. And this would hold in. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a first down there. Play fake. Cousins going deep for Diggs. That's going to be knocked away and in. Complete.
Intended for Stephon Diggs. Incomplete. It's 2nd down and 10.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10.
That's trash!
To throw. Receiver Thielen. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
And this is Cook with a grab. 3rd and 4, he did just enough. I mean, just enough to move the chains.
And that's all you're looking for, right? Just want to keep the drive moving. You don't need the big play there. Just get to that marker that you described, and he was able to do just that.
Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. Brought down by Nate Gary.
Hey, Ken.
A 3-yard pickup.
Hey, no, easy.
Brings up 2nd and 7 at the Eagles' 47-yard line.
Play action now. Cousins. And he'll find Thielen on the right side. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect him to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Cousins now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Here's Cousins. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked up by Jalen Mills. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. And able to get it across the 20 before they get to him. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for an Eagle first down. On first down, Wentz. He's got a man, complete. And he is down deep into Minnesota territory. It's a big play there for the Eagles. 58 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
Shotgun now for Wentz. He's going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line. Danielle Hunter able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, they took a sack on 1st and goal. But that close to the goal line, it still definitely hurts.
It's brought in by Jeffrey. They'll still have a 3rd and goal now despite picking up 13 yards on that pass play. Under 4 to play now. Clock running. 3rd down. Wentz going to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. From 8 yards out, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. See, it didn't seem like they were so focused on the guys out wide, they forgot about him out of the backfield.
That's a really good point because you've got to communicate, and oftentimes when you start counting receivers, that's exactly what you do. You start from the widest receiver, work your way inside. Who gets lost sometimes? The back in the backfield. That's exactly what happened there.
And he got into the end zone.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
First and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. I'm curious to see, Charles, about the play calling on this drive. Last time out, the interception that led to a touchdown. Here we are. I mean, very close, one-score game.
Man, if I'm a defender, I'm actually chirping Chili on the other side of the ball, saying, hey, we picked off the last one. What you going to do about it now? So when you do throw the football, high percentage, but throw it with confidence. Because if there's any hesitancy at all, it could end up in enemy's hands again.
Hey, Zoo.
Throwing again on second down. Cousins. Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Nate Gary. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. A critical error there in a tight game of the fourth.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the fourth quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the fourth quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. So second and inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. They run with Howard. He's got a first down and much more inside the 20. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Jordan Howard, 34 yards. And once again, the Eagles are back out in front. Elliott good on the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away.
The Vikings take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Now, they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling?
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Brandon Graham picks up his second sack of the afternoon.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Well, they don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. On play action, they'll throw. Throw left side on target to Thielen. And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They face a critical third down now, needing a score here in the late going.
Hey, seam 6.
Working out of the gun, Cousins. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete. It was the veteran safety Malcolm Jenkins who got a hand in there to disrupt it. He has had a great game defensively. He's been east-west, north-south, everywhere.
Yeah, and I love how you described that, because to be a great defender, you have to be able to move up and back, sideline to sideline, and he's been fantastic. Reminds me of a young Charles Davis when he was playing Madden.
Absolutely. Oh, wow. I thought you were going to go on the field, but okay, I see you.
Leave it, 48. Hey, exit.
47's the mic, boy. 47.
Now Cousins on fourth down. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. And unable to break away. They stop him a few yards shy. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Eagles are going to take over in great field position. From the 32 now, here's first and 10. Now Howard. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
So they come up on second down, and they can get another run like we just saw. Will likely put an end to this thing. He's got the first down inside the 10. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Jordan Howard, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. Elliott good with a PAT. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. On 1st and 10, Cousins. He gets this one into the hands of Dalvin Cook. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down. From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. Cousins, now a desperation throw deep downfield. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Now Cousins. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Cousins to throw for it on 4th. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Nate Gary, and his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line.
Right there.
Go. Waiting.
54 miles. They can't hang with us.
So after the INT, here's Wentz. Completes it to Aguilar. And here come the whistles and a timeout. With 7 seconds left.
A gain of 16 yards. 1st down, Eagles.
Mike.
Here we go. Pac-Man. Waiting. He don't know no better.
Wentz to throw. Got a man open. It's Ertz. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Zach Ertz there to make the grab. And the forced turnover on defense leads to 6 points. Elliott good on the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful.
Vikings 24. Jake Elliott to kick off for Philadelphia.
And the Vikings able to recover. The hands team does its job. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory, and the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week, we'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points, allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter @EA Madden NFL.